You hear, "I need some space," and your stomach drops right through the floor. I get it. Sometimes your relationship will throw you a curveball like this. You know, it's unexpected. Your world almost immediately starts to fall apart and you begin to spiral. But hear me, because what you do in the next 24 hours is going to matter more than anything you did in the previous 6 months. Most men hear those 4 words, "I need some space," and immediately blow it. They blow it in one of 2 completely opposite directions. I'll clearly outline what those directions are. And by the time this video is done, you're going to know the one response that threads the needle between them. Because "I need space" almost never means what you think it means, and I really need you to pay attention. So, here we go. Jessica is here. Welcome to the channel. So, here's what I'm going to be getting into. Okay, first, I'm going to show you that "I need space" isn't a single message at all. It's at least 3 completely different messages hiding between the same 4 words, and answering the wrong one will confirm her worst fear about you. And then I'll show you how to read which version you're actually in, the 2 opposite ways men destroy their own chances in the heat of the moment, and finally, the exact response that passes every test at once. Stay till the end because I'm also going to tell you what to do when she won't give you a time frame, which is the situation that breaks most men completely. Let's get into it. 4 words, 3 meanings. So, let's start with the truth that reframes the whole thing. When a woman says she needs space, she could be telling you one of 3 very different things. The first, and by far the most common, is simply, "I'm overwhelmed and I need to breathe." This one is not about you being a bad man or anything like that. It's just about her capacity being maxed out by work, by family, by sheer intensity of the relationship. And she's reaching for air. Okay. The second version is, "I'm testing whether you respect me as a person or whether you just want to possess me." She wants to see what you do when she draws a line. Do you honor it like a secure man? Or do you panic and prove that you can't handle her having a boundary? Sometimes space is just a polite first step of leaving. And the trap that ruins men is you can't tell which of the 3 that it is from the words that she says. You can only tell from how you respond and what unfolds afterward, which is exactly why your response has to be built, right? To pass all 3 tests at once. I'll show you how to do that. But before we do that, let's talk about this: how to read which one you're in. You can't know for certain, but the days that follow will tell you everything you need to know if you're actually paying attention, so please do that. The overwhelmed version of this almost always comes wrapped in reassurance. She'll say something like, "I just need a few days, it's not you." A rough time frame, a softness in the way she says it. You know, she's scared of losing you, not trying to lose you. Okay, the test version of this tends to show up right after you did something needy or controlling, and it has a watchful quality to it, like she's waiting to see what your next move will be. And the exit version of "I need space" is usually flat, vague, and final sounding with no time frame and no warmth, because in her own mind, she's already started grieving the relationship. You don't act on these guesses. You simply foul them away because they keep you grounded in reality instead of spinning out in fantasy. The 2 mistakes men make during this time. Like I said, I'll be giving you the exact response to use. But before I do that, you have to see the 2 ways men torch this, because you're probably leaning towards one of them right now. And I understand. The first one is the panic chaser, okay? He hears space and immediately floods the zone. "What did I do? Can we talk? I'll change, just tell me what you need." You know, he answers a request for space with an avalanche of contact, which is the emotional equivalent of responding to "I can't breathe" by sitting on her chest. Every message screams that her boundary is not safe with you. And if this is the test, or this was the test, then you've just failed it spectacularly. If it was the overwhelm, you just turned it into resentment. The second man is the wounded ghost. Yes, he gets hurt, goes ice cold, vanishes completely, maybe fires off some bitter little message. Okay, have a nice life. On his way out the door, he's confused giving space with abandoning the relationship entirely. And now she doesn't feel freedom, but feels rejection and reads his silence as he didn't care enough to fight for me. So guys, here's the right move. and it lives right in the middle of those two extremes. It has 3 parts, and the beauty of it is that it passes all 3 tests at the very same time. So hear me. First thing you do, you acknowledge it cleanly one single time with something like, "I hear you and I respect it. Take the time you need. I'm not going anywhere in a panic." It's calm, short, no interrogation, no 9-paragraph essay defending your honor. In one message, he just proven that her boundary is safe with you, which is the exact test that most men tend to fail. Second, you actually give the space, and I mean real space, not the fake kind where you give her room while you're watching every move of hers and watching her stories, liking her photos at midnight, etc. That isn't space, that's surveillance, okay? Surveillance with extra steps. And she'll feel that. You genuinely have to step back and go live your life. Third thing, you hold a frame around it because space with no edges isn't space. It's limbo, and limbo will quietly eat you alive. It's completely within your rights, said calmly and not as an ultimatum. Say to her, "Take your time. I care about you, but I'm not going to wait around indefinitely without knowing where we stand." That's not pressure. That's a man who respects her enough to be honest and respects himself enough to have some kind of a limit. When she won't give you a time frame, here's a situation I promised you, the one that genuinely breaks men. What do you do when you ask for a little clarity and she hands you nothing but fog? "I don't know, I just need space." It's deeply uncomfortable, but understand this, it's not a crisis, and it's absolutely not your cue to push harder. Okay, you hold your frame, calm as ever, and say, "That's okay, I won't chase you for an answer. Take the time you need, and I'll be honest with you about where I'm at as well." And then you go quiet, and you go live. Because open-ended fog only has power over one kind of man. It's the guy who's just sitting by his phone, refreshing, waiting, slowly dissolving. You know, it has absolutely no power of a man who's busy building a life he genuinely wants, even if she never walked back through that door. And that's what I'm saying. Space is information. I beg of you, stop seeing space as a punishment being done to you and start seeing it as information being handed to you. How she uses that space will tell you everything you need to know. Does she come back softer, clearer, reaching for you? Then perhaps it was overwhelm and you handed it like a grown adult. Does she go quiet and let the distance just keep stretching? Then she's shown you the third version. And the kindest thing you possibly can do for yourself is actually believe her. Either way, and this is the entire point, you keep your dignity. You don't beg, you don't abandon yourself. You get me? Because a man who can hear, "I need space," without falling apart, is not by coincidence the exact man worth coming back to. If she pulled back and you're sitting there right now, not knowing whether to reach out or go silent, the no contact video I've got on the screen will tell you exactly where silence pulls her in and when it backfires. So go watch that next. And in the comments, I want to hear it straight. Has a woman ever hit you with, "I need space"? And what did you actually do? Did you chase? Did you vanish? Did you hold up your frame? What did you do? Share with other guys so we know exactly how this looks like. Remember, I read every single comment that comes through. Hope you got value from this video. If you did, smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers!